Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm catching up on some reviews. I was on vacation and saw some movies, watched some of my old movies, and now I'm catching up on about 7 reviews, so you're going to have a bunch coming your way soon. Now, this one I saw before I went off on my trip, and it's been about over a week now that I've seen this film, Wakefield. And this film is starring Bryan Cranston, who is a man who hides in the attic of his garage and watches his family for months to see what happens if he's not there. And this is very much a one-man show. And overall, it was a well-done film, and it was very interesting and intriguing. This film was written and directed by Robin Sweikert, and from a directing standpoint, the storytelling and how it went about things was interesting. It was a lot of voiceover because it's this character who's speaking for the other characters. You don't really get to hear them speak a whole lot, but he does his own vocalizations of what he thinks they're saying, and that's an interesting way of getting some perspective on those characters from his perspective. And some of the things that he does is like he imagines different scenarios and they play out, and you get to see what might happen if this happens, if he goes back now, and different kinds of things like that. And it keeps it interesting and keeps it moving, and you slowly get to see some flashbacks and get some more potential information about his relationship and who he was before he did this, because this film is about him finding himself and finding the new him. And overall, the storytelling was very interesting and engaging. The pacing kind of bogged down towards the middle, and the thing is, the story is a bit repetitive. So there's moments where it's like, come on, get to the chase, because this was a close to an hour and 40-minute movie, and in many ways it felt like it could have been trimmed down and didn't have to go as far introducing different things. And from a tonal perspective, it is pretty consistent. There are some moments that come out of left field and are a little intense, and there's one particular moment towards the beginning of the third act, I guess, because it's hard to figure out acts, I guess, in this film, because it's kind of stream of just keep going and going, and I guess that's where some of the issues in terms of pacing goes, because it is a lot of rinse, dry, repeat and different stories, and some of them are a little too extreme, and it's just like, where'd that come from? And overall, did this film affect me? And there were some pretty powerful emotional moments by the end of the film, and you building up this connection with this character because you see him. There's moments of makes you genuinely laugh, and towards the end it makes you really think about things, and he really comes to this realization. And the writing, it's a very interesting story and like what if kind of thing, but as I mentioned before, it does get a bit repetitive. And in terms of the characters, you really only get to see this one character, but you get to visualize these other characters through his own scope. So it's interesting, and it gives a different kind of perspective. It's like, how do you feel about a story that's completely told from the perspective of one person, even though you get, quote unquote, the perspectives of others, but it's through their filter? And it is intriguing that way. It's like, were things really that bad? And slowly but surely you kind of get a sense of how things really were and how he really was as a person. And in terms of the themes, this is a focused, powerful message of, do you need to strip things away to be able to find what's really meaningful in life and how you should really be as a person, what you might be missing? The cinematography by Andre Boden-Schwartz. The shots were great. The camera work was fantastic. It was very well done, framed very sharply, and it really paints an interesting picture, and especially with different kinds of shots from this attic and you observing along with the character and seeing what's going on. And that's pretty cool, and getting to really get that point of view of this character through the camera work. And in terms of the music by Aaron Zigman, the music was really well done in this film, and really gave it an atmosphere and ambiance that kind of built up the film, especially in a lot of intense moments. And overall, this film is an interesting film. Is it something that's a fantastic film? No, but it's a fantastic idea and kind of experiment when it comes to filmmaking. And it's that high concept idea of like, this is this situation, how far are we going to go with it? And in terms of the performances, there are other actors in this film, but basically it's a one man show. It's Bryan Cranston. And he delivers a fantastic performance. And he really stands out in this film, and this is his show, and it was a great way to show his ability and his range in this film. Overall, this is a very intriguing film, and I'm going to give Wakefield a B.